Good morning and welcome aboard the MSC cruise ship Bellisima. Although we just booked this cruise about 2 days before embarkment, we've had the best time exploring some spots in Japan that we otherwise wouldn't see, like Kobe and Hiroshima. If you want to see those videos, go check them out up here. Because today is our first full sea day in sea, we thought we would show you guys around the boat and explore more parts of it that we haven't even seen ourselves yet. But before we start our tour, the first stop we really want to go to is breakfast. After having our fill at the Marketplace buffet for breakfast, we've decided to start our tour all the way down on the 4th deck, which is basically the lowest deck that guests have access to. On the 4th floor, we have the medical center, which is where you can come if you're not feeling well or if you're just feeling a little seasick. Deck 4 is also where we get off the ship. Since there isn't too much to see here, we're gonna make our way up to deck 5. Deborah from the future here, make sure to stay tuned till the end because we've kind of saved the best place for last. Deck 5 is where some of the more onboard amenities start. We have guest services, photos, shore excursions. They all have their booths up here. Deck 5 is also where the guest rooms start, as well as the main atrium where you can find a bar and someone playing the piano usually. Turns out there's also a business center on Deck 5. We're gonna take the fancy atrium stairs up to 6th floor now. Deck 6 is where a lot of the fun starts, especially if you like shopping. From watches to purses to perfume to chocolates, you can find literally anything you need on Deck 6. Mixed in with all the shopping, you can also find a specialty ice cream shop and a specialty taco shop called Ola, which is not included in your regular dining package. Starting on this end, we have the London Theatre, which is where 90% of the free shows every night are located. All the way on the opposite side of the London Theatre is 3 restaurants, 2 of which are regular dining options, and 1 which is regular for breakfast and lunch, and then specialty for dining. One of those 3 restaurants is also our dining option. We've been going there every night for dinner. We've had the best time. It's a 3-course meal that comes, and you can choose as many appetizers, meals, desserts as you want. So it's basically a buffet also. Now up to Deck 7. More fancy stairs. Moving from one theater to the next, on Deck 7 we have the private theater, which is for all of the shows that aren't included. So any show that you have to pay for is held in the Carousel Lounge. Right now they're doing bingo. Right next to the Carousel Lounge is the onboard casino. We haven't checked it out ourselves yet, but when we walked through it looked pretty empty. We might have to try our luck later and see what happens. Pretty much the rest of Deck 7 is specialty restaurants, from the sushi bar to butcher's cut to a seafood place and a sports bar. You have pretty much endless possibilities for specialty dining that is not included in your regular dining package. All the way on the other end of Deck 7 is the onboard spa, which although we didn't take any footage behind the scenes because people were in their swimsuits and that would have been kind of awkward, we did get a short little walking tour through it and it looked incredible. There's also a barber shop on board, and that brings us to lunchtime. Welcome to the lighthouse. Although we gave you guys a glimpse of this earlier, this is actually our first time eating here, and it's more of a full service lunch if you're not looking for the buffet. As we enjoy our lunch, we thought this would be a great time to give you guys a room tour of our inside deluxe cabin. Before we cut to that, however, we do want to give you guys a tip if you're coming to the lighthouse, which is to bring your own beverage because they don't even include water. Enjoy the room tour. Our cabin is located on the 12th floor, and although we have an interior room because it was the cheapest, we somehow managed to get an interior deluxe room. So not sure what that means, but we're gonna show you around. Welcome to our room. In order to enter and turn the lights on, you have to put your little key card here, but luckily Tyler already has his here, so the lights are on. Right here in the entryway, we do have a couple nice features, including a thermostat so we can set our own room temperature, a button that says if we want to be not disturbed or if we want them to make up our room, and some hooks to hang our raincoats and other light jackets, which we haven't always had in other cruises. The first place I'm going to show you is our bathroom, because it's right next to the entry door. Now it's a little tight, but it's a lot bigger than the one we had on Royal Caribbean, so we really can't complain. We've got all sorts of room for our towels, for our toiletries, and you can actually use the shower without bumping into any of the walls. Next up on our little room tour here is our closet. And also the TV behind me, but that's just kind of there. We haven't used it yet. This is our closet. It is big enough to fit both of our carry-on suitcases. Because we're traveling super light this year, all of our stuff has fit really easily. They also have a safe in there for any valuables. And that's about that. The next little area of our room here is the only other spot we have to put stuff. We have our desk. It has a mini bar, if I know how to open it. But it's super expensive and they've already emptied it because we kind of put this off till the last night of the cruise. So it's usually full, just really spendy. They do have US plugins and I believe European plugins. So I forgot to mention that these little stools here pull out. They're a little heavy, but then we have 2 extra seats. We've also got a phone on the wall, which I think we've used once to call guest services, but that's there. And then we have the best part, which is the bed. We do also have miniature nightstands on each side of our bed and a light that's like touch. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's our room tour. Now back to the rest of the boat. After doing our quick little room tour with you guys, we wanted to go ahead and skip over decks 8 through 14 because they're all cabins, and although we can't show you every room type, we're not just going to walk through the hallways. So instead we're going to skip all the way to deck 15 because this is where the really fun amenities are. Starting all the way on one end, we have the Marketplace Buffet, which is where Tyler and I have been eating all of our breakfasts, all of our lunches, and a lot of desserts. There's even a secret area out back where you can sit outside, enjoy your food, and watch the boat leave. That brings us to the main pool here on the MSC Bellisima. This pool is usually pretty packed with 6,000 guests on board. It's bound to be that way, but there's also a stage there. They hold a lot of the onboard games, activities, shows, movies are all held in this area. And right next to it is the solarium, which I'm not sure why, but it's Grand Canyon themed. Because the solarium is open to guests of all ages, it typically gets really loud. However, they do have a really nice pool and 2 hot tubs. At the very other end of the buffet is the MSC Yacht Club, which we actually don't have access to. You have to pay a lot more money, which would have been way out of our budget to get in there. We've heard it's really, really nice, but we won't be able to show you guys that, sorry. So instead, we're gonna move on to deck 16. Once you make it to deck 16, you'll realize that the MSC Yacht Club continues, so you won't be able to see any of the front of the boat. However, there are the second floors of the solarium and the main pool. The second floor of the solarium has a few games that you can play, as well as 2 more indoor hot tubs. And the outside, the main pool area, has a walking track that goes around and 2 outdoor hot tubs. If you make it to the very end of deck 16, then you'll find another kind of hidden pool, as well as another bar and lots of lounge chairs that typically aren't as full as the ones on the main deck. Another huge amenity on this deck is the on-site gym, which I'm gonna be honest, Tyler and I have not used it yet, but we have looked around and it looks really nice with lots of treadmills. Now on to the most exciting part of deck 16, the fun zone. When you make it to the fun zone, you'll notice there is so much to do that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna forget something, but they have bowling, they have virtual racing, they have an all-immersive theater, they have claw games, they have arcade games, they have literally everything you need to keep yourself entertained on the boat. The only downside is none of it's included. So you do have to pay extra for all those activities, but if you're wanting to have some fun, why not? Next door to it, there's also a open gym type sport court where you can play basketball, volleyball, soccer, and there's also a sports bar, which if I haven't mentioned, there's actually bars all throughout the cruise ship, but I didn't feel like I needed to go over every single one of them. If you go from the fun zone up 1 deck, you'll actually realize the weirdest thing about this ship, and that's that there's no deck 17. It actually goes straight from 16 to 18. So once you do get to 18, then that brings you to the kids club on ship. I believe the kids club on the ship is called Do Re Mi Land, but they have a daily schedule, different rooms for each age group, and the kids even have their own club that they can go hang out at. If you come to the other side of deck 18, there's actually an adults only bar, which I believe is the only one of its kind on the ship. All right guys, I'm gonna be honest, we left that bar pretty quick. It's a little out of our budget. The drink of the day today was $16, and
you can almost get a drink package for that price.
So instead, we're going to the last and final floor of the ship, Deck 19 is hands down the best place on this entire boat. Not only do they have 3 epic water slides that you can go down, one which actually goes over the boat, they also have a rope course, and all of this is included. If it's free, we're gonna do it. There is a waiver you have to sign for both activities, but 1000% recommend at least checking them out while you're on board.
Was it?
Scary, but good.
Oh yeah.
As for that, that is the end of our tour on board the MSC Bellisima. We appreciate you guys watching our videos. If you have any other questions about the ship or our experience on board, make sure to leave them in the comments, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye.
It's funny now. Oh, coming forward. Raise it, raise it.
Good. There's basically... Okay. Right here in the entryway...
Where are we going?
The corner.
No, we're going to the
The
back.
water park!
Woo!
Starting all the way at 1...
You have to stand under 1.
1, yeah, they all went.